Hey everyone, welcome back to a third Develop With Me. Wow, I lied to you guys on the last two videos. I'm really sorry, but I did lie to you. Not like big time. The previous two Develop With Me videos were never actually meant to be public videos. I filmed them in September and they were practice rounds for me. Last year when I built and posted a video about the film dryer, I mentioned something at the end about develop with me instead of get ready with me. And as a test, I filmed and edited two. I guess in general, I just wanted to see if I could do it. So they were just kind of practice rounds. And while I don't really subscribe to the whole new year, new me thing, I've been in a very transformative time of my life. So maybe there was a little bit of new year, new me in there somewhere. But anyway, on the third, I was just like, fuck it, live. I wasn't really ready to make it live. I wasn't really ready to jump back into making stuff. But, you know, if I'm being honest, I literally just did my makeup. There's no way I'm gonna cry right now. No fucking way. I don't know. I guess, my dad would be so fucking stoked on these videos. So it just was a motivation. I had a few different avenues of motivation to go off of to continue. So yeah, the last two Develop With Me's were fully tests. And I'm really glad that I made them public because here we are. I know I've been talking about my dad a lot, especially because it's a lot of the film I've been developing is kind of around that timeline. I think eventually Develop With Me might evolve into maybe going out and shooting a role and then coming back and developing it. But for now, I just have so much film that I'm developing what I have, and it's all from this very specific time. Yeah, I just thought he would really dig this series. And because it's in January, we're coming up on some pretty heavy one-year anniversaries. And unfortunately, I'm totally the type of person to wake up one day and be like, why do I feel like such a stinker? And I'll find out later, like, oh, it's been 6 months since this horrible thing, or whatever. So this is like my first time filming probably in 3 or 4 months, if I'm being totally honest with you. And I didn't learn my lesson from the last video either, because I developed 3 rolls of Portra 400. I developed 3 rolls of Cinestill 800T in the last video, and it took me forever. Holy motherfucking moly, it took me forever. 1 roll is from Dom's camera. With their permission, I'm gonna be sharing their photos as well because it's still their perspective. It was still from that timeline and they're great photos. 3 rolls, 3 rolls. Whew, can you hear me? God, I'm sorry. I should have brushed my hair maybe. So I was trying to kind of work backwards and think when the last time I used Portra 400 was, and I am genuinely not sure. Does this need to be brighter? What do you think? I think it might be too bright. Yeesh. Gross. Low and slow. The last time I developed film, there were surge marks from over-agitation. I didn't think I over-agitated it, but I guess I didn't know my own strength. So now we're going so gentle. Little baby film. Does anybody else try to get little micro chores done in between? I've been seeing a lot of those in and out lists for New Year's Eve, and I don't really have a list, but I think I want to kind of try to come up with one. Boundaries. Boundaries. Bathroom DJ sets. Being a better friend. I'm a good friend when I can be a good friend. Keeping consistency and sometimes forming those very deep bonds with people, it's not a strong point. It's not a strong trait of mine. So I'm working on it and I want to be a better friend because last year, it was a tough year. What really kept me going were my friends who were there for me no matter what. Whistling? I've always been a whistler, but I think I really want to go hard, you know? I remember one time I met some friends for coffee and they had a friend who was the sickest whistler I've ever heard in my life. That shit was a lullaby. It was beautiful. I kind of just whistle all the time, but I don't practice. I don't know. I want to get better at it. I whistle a lot, but I really want to learn how to do one of these whistles. I don't get it. If you can describe how to do one of these whistles in the comments and I successfully whistle based on your instructions, I'll send you $100. Teach me. Teach me. All right, so this roll is double exposed. I still can't really tell when it's from because the pictures are all jumbled, you know? Also confirmed, this old as shit reel sucks, so I'm gonna replace it. In the previous video, I touched a little bit on driving down to Coachella and back up and stopping in San Francisco. One of the rolls here is from San Francisco, and then another roll from Arkansas. I previously showed a roll in the last Develop With Me, so we got more. And the third roll is Dom's roll. It's double exposed or triple exposed maybe? I don't know, it's a trippy one. I'm gonna put, do I have a snack? Oh my God, I thought I was done. We have more Florida. The light leaks are really showing up in this roll of film. I mentioned it in the last video, but they weren't really all that prevalent, but they're pretty severe in this roll of film, which is fine. Again, I lost that camera, so it is what it is. And I didn't experience light leaks when I first got the camera, so it's kind of cool to see that progression of like how I fucked it up. My favorite thing about Florida, the only thing I like about Florida is the Spanish moss. I think it's so pretty. Yeah, wow. You know what I noticed? Okay, so do you see this kind of like digital artifacting? Like I noticed that on several other scans as well. Super annoying. One of the prettiest streets in St. Augustine, Florida. My dad first showed me this spot and I've always just thought it was so beautiful. When we found out that my dad was sick, Dom and I decided to get married very quickly, and we stopped on this street after our wedding ceremony and took some photos, and it was just so nice, you know? If you've ever visited this area, you may have heard the peacocks. They're so loud. I feel like I always hear them, but I never see them. So in this image, I can see another example of that digital artifacting. I'm wondering if you can point it out, because it's not in the same location in every photo, which trips me out. If you have an Epson V800, I really want to know if you experienced this, because what is this? Dude, look at that. I don't know if this house is abandoned, but I've passed this house so many times in St. Augustine. So I guess for some perspective, at this point in time, my dad had already passed away. These were probably taken in March, late March, early April of 2023, so last year, in St. Augustine, Florida. This was actually for a workshop I was doing with Ruben Ratting. I had a conversation with this guy, and I took a picture on my digital camera, which is what I ended up submitting, but I did ask him for a photo on my film camera as well, and he was just like, I don't know, shaving something down. But not that interesting of a photo. Listen, if you're not taking pictures of your partner's hot Cheeto fingers, do you even love them? Why the fuck did you take this picture? It's not of anything, you dumb bitch. Ooh, the light in this picture is sexy. These photos would have been taken on, I think, April 16th of last year. What are those? What is that? I feel like we should normalize this. Normalize giving out candy. This was mid-April. Just give out your candy. This is my friend John, wonderful friend and photographer in San Francisco that I met up with. We had ourselves a little photo walk and found this little parking lot that just had a lot of light reflecting back and forth. It was a cool little spot. I feel like when there's more light reflections, you need more contrast. It's like more shiny. Okay, so now we're back in Seattle. This is from a day I was just taking a stroll around Capitol Hill. There is nothing that grinds my gears more than street photography of people's backs. And yet, this angers me so much. But I did it to myself. There's like a pot calling the kettle black joke in here somewhere, but I'm not funny enough to make it. So next photo. What is that? What is that? Someone with more knowledge than me has to know how this happens. It's a light leak of some kind, right? That little sliver right there is tripping me out because I feel like if it were a light leak from like a seam or something, it would go all the way to the very edge, but it doesn't. So I don't know. This guy looks cool. I don't remember. Okay, I must have asked this person if I could take their picture because I have two and one is with the flash. I prefer the one without the flash. Pass. Girl, I need a snack. This is all I have. I feel like eating a Lunchable at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday says something. Okay, so the final role that we're kind of diving into is Dom's role. So on the left is our cat Watson in his little crystal shop. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but the arm, it's a cool double exposure. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of makes me sick to my stomach too. Oh shit, called out, Lunchable gang. Oh no. Do I just love Lunchables? I don't want to hear it. I think looking back on the photos, it was time for a new camera. The light leaks were just getting pretty intense for me personally. And they were so hit or miss. It was really inconsistent, so I never kind of knew when I would get the light leaks. It was only sometimes. I don't know why. These photos are so much less difficult to look at than the last two videos because I've had some time. Because some time has passed, and I just can appreciate the light moments. There were so many heavy moments. I mean, man, I felt like I was sinking so much last year. So now to just be able to look back on it with like gratitude, even if it's just like for the lessons that I learned, look at me, I totally said, oh, goddamn. Let's look at the photos, let's look at the final edits. All right, see ya. for Develop With Me #3. I mean, I look at these photos and I just feel very warm. No, we're not doing this again. Well, I'm all out of photos. I'm all out of Lunchable. I guess I'll go home. Thanks for watching, and I think if you enjoyed this, you know, like, subscribe, all of those things. Your hair looks phenomenal today. Did I tell you that? Okay, love you. Bye.